Mr. Zeldin, should there be a constitutional amendment to allow voters to remove local district attorneys?
Yeah, but that should be a vote that's in Manhattan. If you're going to fire the Manhattan district attorney, it shouldn't be. But I'm for a constitutional amendment.
Statewide, you can remove your local DA.
I don't believe that statewide they should be voting to get rid of a county district attorney.
Should it be a law statewide that localities
Absolutely.
can remove their own
1000%.
DAs that they elected?
1000%. But on day one, as soon as I get sworn in, the first thing I'm going to do is going to fire Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg. He's refusing to enforce the law.
Mr. Giuliani, you are calling for this constitutional amendment regarding moving district attorneys out. Can you tell us what the steps are that would make that happen for a constitutional amendment to take place?
I was the first gubernatorial candidate, Maurice, to call for this. I called for it right after his January 3rd memo to the district, to his assistant district attorneys. I was the first one to call it. You can look on the record right here. And it's actually Article 8, Section 13B of the New York State Constitution. So for me, when I look at this, I think it's very clear.
Mr. Giuliani, what's the process? How does that work? We know you stand for it, but how does it work? How would it work?
Yeah, well, the governor on day one can invoke Article 8, Section 13B of the New York State Constitution. Anybody can look that up.
I'm referring to the way the voters would get the opportunity to have this constitutional amendment changed for them to be able to remove their local DA. How does that work?
Yeah, well, I said very clearly on this that I think this is something that should be a ballot amendment that we should have on there, so that way localities can vote for recount, like we were talking about San Francisco over here as we saw this.
As governor, how would you get an amendment on the ballot? What's the process?
How would we get an amendment on the ballot?
What's the process?
We would go through the legislative process on this with the Assembly and the State Senate. And it would take ultimately 2 different sessions to actually get this through. So that's how it actually works in Albany to get this done over here. I understand what you're trying to do, but if you let me actually answer the question rather than try to trap me into this, this is an actual Assembly and State Senate process, but I would push for this as governor. But what I would do, as we don't have recall actually on the New York State Constitution right now, is I would remove him on day one, and I would invoke, like I said, Article 8, Section 13B of the New York State Constitution. When I think about our war on police and everything that they have gone through over the last couple of years, it breaks my heart. As a New Yorker that has a young daughter, I don't want New Yorkers to continue to think about having to move to other places to be safe. We have the game plan to actually make New York the safest state in the country again. It wasn't that long ago, Marcia. You remember when New York was such a safe place. But look, this is obviously a legislative thing, but I will use my power as governor to make sure we can do everything we possibly can to utilize the legislature and push them.